You're probably scrolling through a dozen mattress listings, trying to picture how a new bed will actually feel after a long day, and wondering if you'll end up with something that just looks good on paper but turns into a nightly disappointment. The biggest worry most of us have is spending a few $100s on a mattress that either stays too hot, transfers every little movement, or starts sagging after a few months. It's easy to get lost in a sea of foam densities, coil counts, and marketing buzzwords, and then you wonder whether you've made the right call when the first night arrives. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Casper's SnowMax Hybrid in Twin XL aims to be that just right solution for people who want a mattress that stays cool, isolates motion, and lasts a decade without turning into a sinkhole. What sets this mattress apart in the crowded hybrid market isn't a lofty list of specs, it's how those specs translate into everyday sleep. The Snow Technology cooling layer is a thin gel-infused foam that spreads heat across the surface, so you're less likely to wake up feeling like you've been sleeping on a radiator. For anyone who tosses a lot or lives in a warm climate, that cooling effect can mean the difference between a night of restless flips and a solid 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. The hybrid construction combines that cooling foam with pocketed coils that are tuned for zoned support. The idea is simple. The coils under your hips give a little more give, while the ones under your shoulders stay firmer, keeping spinal alignment in check. In practice, this means a side sleeper who usually feels a pressure point at the shoulder will notice a softer top layer cradling them, while a back sleeper gets the subtle lift they need to keep the lower back from flattening out. Because the coils are individually wrapped, you also get the advanced motion isolation Casper promises. Your partner rolling over in the middle of the night is barely a whisper on the other side. I've read a lot of complaints about traditional innerspring mattresses where a single toss feels like a mini earthquake, and the SnowMax seems to sidestep that problem. If you're wondering whether this is a mattress you can actually live with day after day, think about your current sleep environment. A hot sleeper who currently uses a cheap foam topper might find the cooling layer a game changer, especially in summer months when the bedroom temperature climbs past 75 F. A couple sharing a small studio apartment will appreciate the motion isolation because it lets each person move without waking the other. Even college students who need a Twin XL for a dorm room could benefit from the hybrid's durability. Casper claims a decade of life, which is longer than the typical 3-year lifespan of many budget mattresses that start to sag after a few semesters. Who should definitely consider the SnowMax? First, anyone who has struggled with night sweats or feels too warm under a traditional memory foam mattress. Second, couples who are light sleepers or have different schedules. The motion isolation will let one partner read or work in bed without constantly disturbing the other. Third, people who want a mattress that can handle a bit of weight without losing its shape thanks to the coil system. The surface stays supportive even if you're a heavier sleeper. Lastly, if you're willing to invest a little more upfront for a product that promises a 100-night trial and a long-term warranty, this hybrid aligns well with those expectations. On the flip side, there are a few scenarios where you might want to look elsewhere. If you're on a shoestring budget, the SnowMax sits in the mid to high price range for a Twin XL, so it could stretch the budget compared to a basic all-foam mattress that still offers decent comfort. If you prefer a firm, on-the-ground feel like some people who sleep on a platform bed or have a preference for a very firm mattress, the medium-plush feel of the SnowMax may feel too soft after a few weeks. Also, because the hybrid is heavier than a pure foam mattress, moving it up a flight of stairs or onto a higher floor can be a workout. Lastly, while the cooling layer works well for most, people who are already naturally cool sleepers might not notice a huge temperature difference, so the extra cooling technology could be a feature they never really use. One practical strength that often gets overlooked is the mattress's edge support. Because the pocketed coils extend close to the perimeter, you won't feel like you're sliding off the side when you sit on the edge to read or put on shoes. That's a subtle but useful benefit for smaller rooms where you might be using the whole surface area for sitting or working during the day. In terms of durability, the combination of high-density foam and steel coils gives it a resilience that many cheap hybrids lack. Users have reported that the mattress maintains its shape after years of use, which aligns with Casper's December